Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at this kelp farm design. This is definitely the biggest design and the best expandable design that you can do. So I've just built it really short, but you can build this longer. The longest that I'll build this is around 100 to 120 blocks long. That's the longest I would go with this. Above that it just becomes too laggy, and yeah, the kelp doesn't grow all the way. Then you have to stand in the middle of a farm like AFK there to just so that the random tick works everywhere. That the random tick is just basically the algorithm that is used to what is used to control the growth of the plants. So which plants grows, and it only grows in a certain radius around the player. So that's why I'm saying if it's much bigger, you have to stand in the middle of a farm. Let's quickly take a look at the farm and how to build. So it's fairly simple to build this farm. The only complicated part I would say is this top part here with the signs. That is a bit tricky and time consuming, but other than that it's actually not that difficult. You have per side, you don't need to build both sides, you can only build one side, but it's just it's easier to build another side, and then the pickup system in the middle is you use one for both things. So the symmetry just looks better in my opinion. But anyway, let's quickly look at the rest of the farm. So inside we just have dirt blocks with all the kelp in, and then the flying machine, so we have two, one in each tank. So the flying machine passes right in this layer of blocks, and then it breaks the kelp and it also flows to the top and falls in. I can quickly demonstrate that. If I press this button, you can see that both flying machines are sent off at a little bit of an offset. So the first one, the other one, that's just to help with lag. And as you can see, I made the machine so that they return immediately. So let's quickly look at that. It's just quite simple. I just have an observer that detects when there's a block moves in front of it, and that gives an output to this node block, and then that observer then detects that there's a change, and then it's just sent off again. We have this obsidian blocks, that is to stop the flying machine so that it doesn't just continue through or break any of the blocks or so forth. That's just for a safety measure. So this block is absolutely necessary. These leaf blocks is not really necessary, but if you do want to place blocks here next to the slime blocks, then you do need a block that is non-movable, and leaves just happen to be one. Obsidian is another one. Furnaces is also one, I believe chest is also one, and dispensers and droppers, those are all non-movable blocks, so they don't stick to the slime block. So let's look at how the stop part works. So the reason there is signs in here is because when a kelp grows, it can actually grow into a flowing block. So what's meant by a flowing block is this water right here. So we have a source block here, and the rest are all basically flowing water. And kelp can actually, if it grows into this block, it can turn this into a source block. And what the signs do is they prevent the kelp from growing into this block or above, but they still allow items to flow to the surface to be collected. And then for the collection system, we basically just have a water source back there which is flowing, and then we have an ice block there. As I said, this is an ice block. So the water, this is the last block that it flows, so this is 8, this stops here. Well, water flows 8 blocks long, and then I just place a top slab there with a sign here, and then a source block, another water block right next to it. So the items, if I drop this, demonstrate, you can see it flows right through, and then it does kind of stop, but you can go through. If you don't like that, you can just place another block there. So if I demonstrate again, it will flow and then just go straight through. It's not necessary to make everything ice, but definitely those two. Not just it needs to be ice block at least, because I think it's just frosted ice, I believe. Let's quickly check that. The first one, it does need to be packed ice. Sorry, these two blocks does need to be packed ice if you're playing in survival, because if it's not packed ice, it could actually melt, and then yeah, you have a water source block, and then yeah, your items would fall through. It wouldn't go into the pickup. And the pickup is basic. It's basically just the water flows basic. The water flows on top of this line of block, comes into this hopper, and is then directed into this chest right here. Okay, so let's quickly check out how to build this farm. It's quite simple. I'm just gonna come out of it. Okay, so the inside of the farm, so the kelp can only be 7 wide. You can make it bigger, but then it just becomes much more complicated, and especially for this water flame, because then you need to step up with another source flowing till this point, and then this one continuing to the middle. You could do that, but that is much more time consuming, and it just brings a lot of difficulties with, and yeah, I would just build this one and make it like 50 blocks long or something like that. So what I normally do, I mark out the base, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is actually the interior of the farm. I'm just gonna build a much smaller one. So right, this is where all my kelp would be, and then at the bottom you just place dirt. Okay, I just finished placing the dirt. So what you would do in your design is you would also make this 7 wide, or I recommend making this 7. So where the word dirt is, that's 7 wide, and then lengthwise in this direction, if you look at the farm, so in this direction, you could basically make it as long as you want, but I would recommend not going above like 120 blocks. 100 blocks, I would say. That's how the biggest I would make it. Okay, let's continue building. So then you can build the size of the farm up, and this doesn't need to be too high. I normally build it just about 7 or 8 high. That's more than enough, because as you can see there, there's just a few that will grow along. Okay, so after you've built your walls of the farm, it should look something like this with a 3 wide gap here. This is the end where the flying machine will come. The next thing you'll need is leaves or any other non-movable block. You can use obsidian as well, but yeah, obsidian just doesn't look as nice. I prefer the look of leaves. You could also use dispensers or droppers. Furnaces will also work, but as I said, leaves just look the best. So you want to do this on both sides. Just like this. So that's all you need. Then I would recommend filling it up with water after you've placed the side. So just get buckets of water, or you can just use normal ice that you can just place it down and you break it with your bare. This is in survival though. Then you get a water source. So as you can see there, you just place along 2 of the edges, you place water, and then it automatically fills into the rest. So it will not work for the second layer because there's an air gap there, but we can just continue with the rest. You can actually also place in your kelp. Maybe just quickly get some kelp, if I can remember where it is, over here. So you can also place in your kelp now, and this would actually also help you with the water placement, because yeah, as I said, when kelp grows it creates water source, so this will also help with this situation here where it doesn't want to fill up the middle. Okay, but then you can just continue filling in the rest of this. You want to go up until just above. So this is the last level you want water at, basically, is this level. Okay, so once you've come to this point where you've got your water in, you just want to bring it up to just below, so one row open. Then you just want to grab dirt or any other block that is easily mined, because I'm guessing you're going to go build this in survival. You're going to place it in like this, and then take another water source and just place it at the back here, like so. And then if you build this gap 7 wide, then this will happen, so the water will stop right here at the edge. So any items that you drop inside will flow towards the edge. Yeah. Okay, the next thing is you want to get signs. Now this is the one difficult part about this, is you need to come here to the back, break a block, place a sign, break a block, place a sign, and you would have to do this for all of them all the way to the front. So now the way you place a sign like next to another sign, so like this basically, is what you do is you hold down your crouch button. By default it is shift, so you hold it down and you look at the sign and you place it. So break a block, place a sign, break a block, place a sign, and you want to do this for all of the rows. But be very careful, do not place a sign on top of a block, because that will it will basically destroy the water source coming out. Like I can show you here, like you see it dried up, and now if you want to change it, if I did that back here, then it wouldn't go back. So just be mindful of that. Okay, I've placed all the signs in, so then it should look something like this. Then you want to take a water bucket again, and as you can see here, this is air, so the kelp will just float here. So you just come to this block over here, you place water, and then you place water all along this back edge. Don't place water on the side, nothing will happen. You have to look against the block. So if you come here, you can see there's water. Those signs is waterlogged. So now you just want to do the same for one side, and just the same as previously, it will automatically fill in the rest. So if you look at this, it will fill in all of the rest. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is just build a little wall over here, and this is just any items that you drop in here. When it flows to the side, it hits this wall and it falls directly down. You could also use any other, like you can actually use an actual wall over here, then it will fall down right in the middle. But now the items will just it'll basically just flow against this wall and drop down. So your collection, you would have to come down till here for that. It's actually one below, and on this particular design I went out 2 blocks further, and then I have blocks over there, and this platform over here you also want to bring out 2, and this is part of the design, and place 2 blocks there, and then come 1 back and then place like this, and there 1 as well. And then you just fill in these blocks over here all the way to the front. You need 2 extra here in on the other side as well. You're exactly the same, you just mirror it just like this. Don't worry about the water flowing in, that'll be sorted in a minute. And then I'm just using leaves to cover up this side again, but this is not necessary. Now is the time that you would need your obsidian. You would need obsidian, and then obviously your redstone component. So that's a sticky piston, an observer, also a note block. That's just one of the easiest ways. Slime block, slime blocks. Okay, so the way you want to build this is just simple. You just come 1 out, place just any building block basically, and then place 2 slime blocks, then a sticky piston like this, slime block in front, 2 to the side, and then another glass block right there. The next step would be to place a piston right there facing into this one like this. So you want to place in your observer like this, so facing into that block, and then similarly you want to place one right over there. So slime blocks are easy to break, you can just break these two, place it right there, and then place it again like this. So this should be what you're left with. And at the back of this piston you just place your obsidian block, and it's important, if you put blocks here, it has to be non-movable blocks, exactly the same as you place here, just non-movable blocks, otherwise it will stick to these slime blocks. And then I just finish it off at the side like this. Then I'm going to do the same on the other side, just with this leaves, and here as well. And now I want to look, where's the piston? So the piston is on this row of blocks right here. So then I'm going to place my obsidian again, place my leaves, and then here's the observer. So I'm going to place leaves there, and then I'm going to place my note block right there. Now if you want to make this so that it returns immediately, you would take your observer, place it right here facing this way, put a block here and a block here, and then get a repeater and place that repeater facing into the note block, and this has to be on 4 ticks. That is just the safest way to go, is to put it on 4 ticks, this one. So what I mean before is that's 1, 2, 3, and that's 4 ticks. So this way, as soon as it would get here, it would be sent back to that side. Otherwise, if you don't want it to return immediately, you can just come here manually and just hit the note block. Okay, so the last thing is to place your note block on this side, and now it would be sent off. As you can see, all kelp is broken and sent to the side, and it is sent back immediately. So as you can see now, this problem is fixed. Now I just want to get another bucket of water and place 2 there, and that'll force it to flow this side. Just want to place 1 there, and you could just build this wall 1 up. So as you can see, you want to do the same on this side, where you can see the water has also gone out. Just place 2 sources like that, and then it will flow right here. And now this is where you can do your input for your chest. So just get a hopper with a chest. So I might need water again. And yeah, you could just put that there, but I quickly want to show you in this case what I did there, so that you don't lose any items. So in the current configuration, the water would only get till here, but let's say your farm is longer. So I'm going to break this quickly, just get rid of that source block. Let's say it was a bit longer, let's say until here. So now your water is there, and yeah, you get this problem. So how you can quickly just fix that is by placing 2 slabs on the top like that. And then I would recommend doing the same on this side, because that problem would happen on this side as well, just like that. And yeah, now as you can see, if this tank was much longer, the water would flow and it would stop there. And now what I would recommend you do, so you should do this, just get ice. It doesn't have to be blue ice, it can be packed ice. Packed ice is perfect. The 2 blocks directly after, just place 2 blocks like this. Then take a slab again, place it on the top like that, get another sign, place the sign one block above to the back to the side which the water is, and then just take your bucket again and place water right there. So in this way, it doesn't matter where the items drop, all of them will flow to the front, which is right here. Let me quickly place a chest there so it actually collects. So you can just place your chests there, and then over here you can make a hopper going into the chest. And yeah, now you might say, well, this is leaking, but you could just place a top slab there as well. And I would also recommend you putting a trapdoor right there, because otherwise your items will actually just fly out here. Now this trapdoor will actually stop them and it will be collected. Just one thing to note, if you build your farm much longer, and especially if you build two of them, like 2 tanks, and you build it much longer, one hopper might not be enough to catch it all. So what you want to do in that case is have 2 hoppers and the water flowing over them. So if I can quickly show you the way I would set that up. Let's say you need 2 hoppers, then I would just place a chest on either side like this. I would also recommend putting more chests, basically linking them up together. So I would have something like this, and then you can just do something like this. So the reason I placed the slabs is then you can still access the chest. But if you want to place more chests, it's actually quite easy. You can just do something like this, and now actually it will first fill up this chest, then that hopper, and then this chest will be filled up. So you can do the same for this side, but this is only if you have a much bigger farm to cope with all the items flowing in. And yeah, that's all for this farm to build. Oh, there's one other thing. You could use a daylight detector and place it on top of this block here. You'll see the frying machine going off straight away. That's normal. But now, as you go through your day and night, this gives out a redstone signal, so that powers the block. The observer sees it and it's sent off. So this way, the farm is actually fully automatic. But just remember, if you unload the chunks, which basically just means if you go far away from the farm, and the flying machine is in action, or what in action I mean like it's moving, then it might get destroyed, or yeah, it might break basically. So then you have to go in and break the blocks and come build it again. So you maybe would want an on-off switch, and that's also pretty simple. You can just use a lever, place that on the block, and if you power it, now that block is always powered, and doesn't matter what happens to the daylight detector, the observer doesn't see a change, so then it won't be sent off every day and night cycle. One thing I forgot to mention is just that these 2 tanks, it's exactly the same as that one. The only thing that's different is at the top, the direction of the water flow. So as you can see here, they are both the same. Then also that stream in the middle is exactly the same as that one. And then quickly, the mechanism for setting them off. This is just a daylight detector with repeaters running. As you can see, to the one side I have 4 tick delay and then just 1, and to the other side all of them 4 tick delay. This is just so that both machines aren't sent off at the same time. Then I also have these 2 switches. So this is basically the on-off switches for the 2 sides. So if it's you can power this basically. So what that does is, if let's say it goes to night again and it turns to day, this is just simulating that, then you see nothing happens. So you can actually decide, do you want just one side running up and one side running, or both sides, or none. So yeah, I can, and then if you turn them on again, you can see they're going off again. and they're going to come back now in a second. Obviously on a larger farm this will take much longer, but let's say it goes back to day again, then they're going to be sent off again. So yeah, this is just an easy way to put them on and off. So yeah, this is the farm, and if you have any problems, just leave it down in the comments below and I will help you sort it out as soon as I can. If you want to see another video from mine, that is, I show all the uses of kelp, I'll link that up above if you're going to watch that. And also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where I post some behind the scene shots. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe and like the video, and also leave a comment down below maybe of any future farms you want to see, or if you have any problems, then I'll be glad to help. Thank you for watching, guys, and until next time.